Thanks, Aaron. So really quickly, when I joined the Open News program, which was a couple years ago, it was a real. I have white slides, Aaron, so you can see mine. Row down. So when I joined, to me, I really wanted the New York Times involved in our program because they really are doing the gold standard of journalism coding or programmatic journalism or whatever you want to call it. They are doing amazing stuff. So Aaron, thank you so much, and thank you for being a part of the program. So here at Mozilla, we're working to empower communities in order to transform the web. And at Open News, we're working with a community that's helping to transform journalism through tools, through ideas, through new approaches. The idea is to be able to create journalism that isn't simply on the web, but journalism that is of the web. And so today I want to talk a little bit about how journalism is having an impact in creating the web that we want. I want to show you some of the work that we're doing at Open News. And finally, I want to introduce you to an amazing group of people, our 2014 Mozilla Fellows. So at Open News, we believe in empowering communities. And when we talk about communities, we're talking about communities of news developers, of open source coders, of data liberators, of civic hackers, and of course of muckraking journalists as well. We want to empower these communities to be able to collaborate and create code that matters. Code that matters to society and code that matters to the web. So one of the things Aaron mentioned document cloud, but one of the things that's actually pretty amazing to me is how much impact the code that has started in newsrooms has had on the web itself. So Django started in the newsroom. Backbone.js started as part of the Document Cloud project. Underscore as well was spun out of Document Cloud. Started and developed in the newsroom. D3, otherwise known as Data-Driven Documents, everybody calls it that, JS. Started at Stanford when the guy that created it wanted to get a job. He went to the New York Times because if you're going to do next level data visualization, why would you not be going into the newsroom, right? These are technologies that aren't simply news technology. They're the technologies that drive the web forward. Right? Rapid development and flexibility and adaptability. Right? These are the design requirements of journalism. They're the design requirements of an industry that has to be able to react when it doesn't know what's going to happen the next day. Right? But these are also the design requirements of the web itself. And so to me, this is journalism code at its best, right? Code that first starts in transforming journalism, code that then transforms the web, and code that goes on to transform the world. That's amazing code when it can do all of those things, and we've seen this over and over and over again in the code that comes out of the newsroom. But at its core, journalism isn't about generating basic code, it's about informing the world, right? And we've seen countless examples of how important this is over the course of the last few months as revelation after revelation after revelation has come out about the NSA's continued destruction of our privacy on the web and the actual parts of the web that count in terms of keeping us as individuals and private and all of those sorts of things. And of course, we've learned about this through news organizations like The Guardian here in the UK, like the New York Times, like ProPublica, all three of which are Open News partners, a point that I'm very proud of. These revelations have not only informed us an incredible amount about what the world really looks like that we live in, and helped to inform directions and things that we need to take to be able to make that world better. But for me and for Open News, they also really underline how important it is that we have truly technically savvy people inside the newsroom, right? People not only for building the tools and code that we need, but simply to be able to inform the reporting that happens on stories like this. Right? I'm talking about people like Jeff Larson at ProPublica, right? He's a member of their news apps team, and he was involved in the team the joint collaboration between the New York Times, The Guardian, and ProPublica, revealing the NSA crypto stories, right? He was the geek that they could turn to tell them more about this technology, right? This is a guy who, in order to do the best job possible, to inform the world about what was going on with the compromising of crypto from the NSA, built his own implementation of the RSA encryption in JavaScript, just so he could understand the math better. That's his word. He told us that with our site service. Getting more people like Jeff into journalism. And by the way, Jeff and also James Ball from The Guardian are going to be talking about the NSA crypto story up on 8 at 4:30 today. In a quite open Q&A, so plug for that. But getting more people like Jeff into journalism, right? People who not only love to code, but love to use that code to inform societies, is what drives us here at Open News. At Open News, we sponsor journalism hack days around the world. We've been in every continent but Antarctica, and we're coming for those penguins next. We help support code that's already being built in the newsroom, as well as to seed new code bases. And we run a website, Source, which documents the best work coming out of the journalism code community in a way that all coders can understand and begin to become a part of. But the beating heart at the center of what we do at Open News is the Knight Mozilla Fellowships program, funded by the Knight Foundation. So if Michael's here, thank you for the money. And for the support. And really, they're incredibly supportive. We find people from around the world, people who love the code and people who want to go to newsrooms to try this out, right? We put them as embedded as fellows in newsrooms for 10 months with an incredibly simple mandate. Build things you love, to experiment broadly, to try new things, to take risks, and maybe, hopefully, to change the world just a little bit. So 2 years ago here at the Mozilla Festival, we introduced everyone to our first cohort of Knight Mozilla Fellows. We've officially now adopted the term Dev 2012. Last year, we introduced our 2013 Fellows. And they've, since the Mozilla Festival, they've gone off to their newsrooms and done a lot of amazing work, both in collaboration with their newsrooms, but also in collaboration with each other. Our fellowships are 10 months, and our fellows get about 10 seconds to maybe 1 minute to tell you what they've been up to. So you're just going to get a little taste of what they're up to right now. But I want to make sure that all of our 2013 fellows get a chance to share what they're doing. So, Annabel, are you here? Come on up. So Annabel Church has been at Sites Online, and inspired by GitHub, her Story Pull project is a prototype for pull requests on news stories. This is something that would allow specialists, people with local knowledge, people that have domain expertise to actively collaborate with journalists and contribute to living stories. So Annabel, thank you for that. Stan's with The Guardian, and Stan's one of a number of our fellows who have been really invested in this idea of metrics and news. So Stan's actually built tools that are going to be tracking hundreds of news websites, right? Their homepages, their articles, what they publish on social media, because what Stan really thinks is that if you want to change journalism, you really first have to understand what it looks like. Thank you, Stan. That's his slide. Friedrich's been at Spiegel Online, and he built a dashboard for the German federal elections. That dashboard first operated as a way of demonstrating before the election the impact that certain voting laws were going to have on the overall makeup of their parliament. And then on election night, it flipped over to being the live dashboard that Spiegel ran. So, thank you. And then Mike Tigas at ProPublica. So Mike has spent a lot of his fellowship actually working on a tool called Tabula that Manuel's going to talk about in a moment. But he's also spent a great deal of time, he's been working at ProPublica, really thinking about operational security for journalists. And he's in fact been dug so deeply into that category that he's been facilitating 5 different sessions on crypto or OPSEC here at the festival this weekend. So thanks for the extra heavy lifting. And finally, I wanted to get a chance for the 3 of our fellows to show you a little bit more about, or talk a little more about what they've been doing. So Manuel, why don't you come up and talk a little bit about Tabula?
Governments, companies, and all kinds of organizations frequently publish structured information in PDF files, and that's just wrong. The purpose of PDF is to be rendered the same way on any device in a paper. It is not a data exchange format. You just can't copy and paste a table from a PDF to a spreadsheet because you will lose the tabular structure. But still, organizations publish a lot of their structured data in PDF. Why, if you ask? I can think of at least 2 reasons. The first is ignorance. A lot of people think that PDFs cannot be modified. They think the data will be tamper resistant if they publish a PDF file. That's not true, of course. The second one is malice. Because dealing with information in PDFs is difficult for a lot of users. So some organizations are discouraging them on purpose by publishing the data in PDF. This is the kind of problem that should not exist, but it does. So we built Tabula. I started this project earlier this year and was later joined by Mike Tegas, another news fellow. Tabula is free software in all senses. So let me show you a quick demo. So you upload a file. You wait a few seconds. You then draw a rectangular selection around the table that you want to extract. You get your data. And you use